can tell you, if you vote for her, if she wins Texas and she wins Ohio, she will win Pennsylvania, and she will be the nominee of the Democratic Party for president. It is all up to you. And what I want to say, thank you. What I want to say is, I just want to make absolutely sure, particularly the younger voters who are supporting her, understand how the Texas system works. In all the early voting between the 19th and the 29th, and then on the election on the 4th, all the votes will be counted like a regular primary. But only 2/3, actually less, 65% of the delegates will be allocated to the National Convention based on how all the people in Texas vote. And then, this is the only place in the country where this is true, the polls will close at 7 on March the 4th. Between 7 and 7:15, every person who votes, either early or on March the 4th, will have the opportunity to attend one of 8,000 precinct conventions, and the other 35% of the delegates will be fixed there. So there are some who believe that Hillary will win the election in the daytime and have it taken away at night. You're not going to let that happen, are you? But you have to go back to your precinct convention. This is really important. If you don't know where it is, call our headquarters. We will tell you we need it. Think of it this way. Think of it as an excuse for a massive party. In Texas, Texas is the only place in America where you can vote twice in the same election without going to jail for it. It's great. It's great. Will you help us do that? We're going to have food and music and celebration, but we have got to be there. So I ask for your help. Now let me just say a couple of other things. This election is for everybody. This crowd is for everybody. Look at this. We've got people who are old, young, and in between. We've got men and women. We've got people from all different racial and ethnic backgrounds and all religious backgrounds. We have veterans in here in this audience. Thank you, sir, for your service. And people who aren't old enough to serve. And we have children who aren't old enough to vote, but for whom this election may mean the most of all. And I am honored that you're here to support her. But let me just say, it's obvious that I have a strong preference, and you can say, well, I disregard your opinion because your judgment is flawed. Well, it is biased, but I want to tell you something. I do love Hillary, but I love my country too. And I tried hard to do a good job for you when I was president. Since I left office, I've tried hard to help people all across America with health and economic challenges and all across the world. I've been in 90 countries since I left office. So here's what I want you to know. If I'd never been married to Hillary, but I had been president, and I had lived the life I've lived since, knowing what I know about the challenges of this job, and the challenges of this moment, we have very serious economic problems at home and foreign policy challenges around the world, not just ending the war in Iraq, but dealing with terrorism, figuring out what to do in Afghanistan, rebuilding our military, sparing our children from the threat of global warming. We got a lot of big problems here. I would be for Hillary regardless, because she's the best candidate I've had a chance to support the president in my lifetime. And I loved it at the end when she looked over at Senator Obama and she said, I'm honored to run with you. I've been honored to be in this campaign with the other candidates. You don't have to be against anybody in this election, but you do have to pick the best president. And one of the reasons you ought to be for her is her economic blueprint. She's got the best plan. 5 million jobs from clean, green energy alone. Let's stop spending $300 billion a year, sending it overseas to oil sellers when we can invest it in America and America's future and help save the planet for our kids. If you heard the healthcare issue tonight, I'm going to tell you something. I deal with this all over the world. So they're arguing about whether it really makes any difference if her plan covers everybody and the other plan leaves out 15 million. Raise your hand if you know somebody without health care.
I'm without health care.
Look.
And me and you.
Here's why it matters. Here's why it matters. In the last 7 years, since I left office, healthcare costs have doubled. More and more people are losing their insurance. If you don't get control of the cost, it may be 15 million people without insurance today. Tomorrow it'll be 20, and then 25. And then the person who doesn't have insurance gets really sick and doesn't get health care until they're really, really sick. Then they show up at the emergency room and their costs are passed on to everybody else. And you have a paperwork nightmare. Or they have a car wreck and the same thing happens. This is important. If you want a health care plan where America finally stops making excuses for why we're the only country in the world that can't figure out how to provide affordable health care to all our people, and you want us to go forward together in a way that allows the economy to go again, that allows people to pay their bills again, and that is morally right because everybody has health care again, you vote for Hillary and she'll give you that kind of health care system. Now, the last thing I want to say, this is not a night for issue stuff, but this is important. There are a lot of young people in this audience tonight. And we cannot modernize the American economy and give you the future you deserve unless we have a new energy policy, unless we have a new health care policy, but we also have to do better on education. We have to do better. One of the most interesting things about that debate to me tonight was they all came out against English only, and they both came out for bilingual Americans. We all need to learn more to relate to the global economy. So Hillary